I've been putting it off a long time, but now really is the time to start thinking about storage and memory. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you what my current situation is with regards to how I store and back up my Lightroom catalogue and all of my photos, and probably what I need to do next. So in the last millennium, I did computer studies and computer science for O-levels when they had O-levels and A-levels. And actually part of that was trying to understand how you store information and how you back up information, and that three-stage backup process where you have the current information, you have a backup, and then you have a backup to the backup. So basically, you separate out those different backups so that if one fails or one gets burnt down or one gets stolen, you've got a second backup. That strategy is still very real in today's world. And as a photographer, there is nothing worse than not having a copy of your very precious images. So I'm going to tell you what I've done up until now and tell you about why I'm thinking of changing things up a little bit. So my current structure is this. I take a photograph and it goes onto memory card. The memory card is then put onto a hard drive, which is external to my laptop. The Lightroom catalogue is also stored on the same hard drive. All my raw files are backed up to a cloud service called LIVEDRIVE, which is okay but not brilliant, and that amounts to I think £15 a month storage. So I have a backup of my raw files. I work on my photographs using the hard drive as the current situation. Once I have finished photos, I store those on Flickr. Now, I've been a digital photographer, I guess, since 2005. But once I've processed a picture, I want to keep a record in the cloud, and I've been using Flickr to do that. So I've got my catalogue all the way back to 2005 available in Flickr. So once I've finished processing the photograph, I'll upload it for a record and to be able to use later in Flickr. I organise my photos in Flickr by albums, so that if I want to find a group of photographs from a particular event, I can find those fairly easily. I organise my albums into collections, and so you can see that I can search by date. So in 2021, these are all of the groups of pictures that I took, organised by album, and also by type of activity, so such as gigs or amdram or headshots. Flickr is very good because it organises photographs by date, and that works for me because I organise my photographs and search for those photographs by date. If I want to find a particular image, perhaps for a client, I can search by the date if they know the specific date, or the sort of event. Now in this case, these are the pictures that I took in St Ives in March of 2023. For each image that I process, I tend to share a watermarked small version of the image, and then I also upload a private version of the same image but in high resolution. So if later on a client wants a particular image, we can find the particular file by file number, as you can see here, and then I can go to the privately stored high resolution image and download that to send to them. If I need to go back to the original source RAW file, images are stored in LiveDrive, and again they're organized by date, and I can then use the Flickr resource to try and find a particular image. So I can either search by file number or by date. And once I've got a particular file that I may want to download, I can view that particular file online and then download it. It's a little bit slow and clunky, but this is my sort of saving point of last resort. I only go back to it if I really need to. Recently, my trusty 2 terabyte hard drive has started telling me it's beginning to run out of room. That is mainly because most of my videos that I record are also stored on there. And so I've got to find a way forward, and which is bringing me to a new idea, which is to maybe upgrade 2 things. One, possibly the hard drive, but certainly the structure of keeping the catalogue and the raw files on the hard drive in my home studio. So what's the issue? The current system works pretty well for photographs. LiveDrive, there are some issues with it which I'm not so keen on. I have a slight problem because I cannot schedule backups to LiveDrive, and backing stuff up to the cloud can be very expensive in terms of internet usage, and so I have to do that overnight, because if anybody else in the house is watching a video or something and is using the internet, it basically kills the internet. So I want to be able to schedule backups. Currently, if I don't remember to do it straight away, I can wait maybe a month or so before I remember to go back and do these updates, to do these uploads to OneDrive, which probably isn't very robust. The second issue, I guess, is video files. Now, I'm not a videographer, but I've been doing the YouTube channel for a while now, and I hope that at some stage in the future I might get better at it, and consequently having access to earlier files and a storage of some better videos would be nice to have. And so having some sort of redundancy in my storage would be good, because at the moment, if I lose my HHD, I've lost all of my video files, which isn't a great problem, but it'd be a real pain in the ass to start building resources that I use from one video to another once again. I think that would take a bit of time. So that's my current setup, that's my current idea. So the challenge is there, I'm burning through space, and so the obvious answer to me seems to be to get a NAS, and so a network attached storage system. And this is my current thinking about what I might do if I get a NAS. So the future system would be that the photographs would go to the card. The card would go to either an HHD, the current hard drive, or an SSD. This would be this would hold the Lightroom catalogue and current RAW files. If I'm on the road, say I'm doing a trip, the current raw files would be there. There would be backup because they would still remain on the card until I got home and was able to back up. Once I got home, the raw files would go to the NAS. The video files would also go to the NAS. The Lightroom catalogue remains on the HHD or the SSD. The NAS would schedule backups to LiveDrive. And finished images would go to Flickr, and obviously videos would continue to go onto YouTube. What does that buy me? It buys me redundancy. So if the hard drive fails, obviously there would also be a copy of the Lightroom catalogue to NAS that would be backed up. So the NAS would be able to store backups for the raw files, the video files and the catalogue files. There would be redundancy for the video files and the catalogue and the raw files, but there would also be backup for the raw files and the catalogue to the LiveDrive. And that is my intended route forward, and you'll have to come back to another video to see if it works like that. So in conclusion, I think I've got a pretty good robust system at the moment, but there's opportunity to improve on it, and I think the addition of something like a network attached storage system will be able to schedule my backups to LiveDrive or other cloud service more robustly, and probably mean that should my HHD, or if I was to move to an SSD card, fails or lost or get broken, then I could get going once again without too much of a problem, because I could just draw that information back down onto a new system from the NAS drive. So that's where I'm going next. I hope you found this interesting or useful, or if you think I'm doing it all wrong, then you really should tell me in the comments below. But if you've enjoyed it, please consider subscribing, giving us a thumbs up, and hope to see you on the next one. Bye for now.